half in the bag. I don't even know who I am anymore.
God, what are you doing? Oh. You know, there's easier ways to do that.
What, a bottle opener?
Don't you think Pliggett's gonna notice that?
What, a knife in his wall? No, look at all the stuff we've done around his house. I mean, the other day we lost his kitchen, and he didn't even notice that.
Why do you even have that knife, though? I mean, who do you think you are? Courtney Cox's plastic surgeon?
Modern audiences have become savvy to the rules of the originals. I mean, there are still rules, but the rules have changed.
And the kill's gotta be like way more extreme.
Courtney Cox is, of course, one of the stars of Scream 4, which takes place 10 years after the original Scream trilogy. And it's about Neve Campbell returning to her hometown where the original Scream massacres took place to promote a book that she wrote about survival. And while she's there...
Wow, this is a really long plot. Isn't it about stabbing people? For fuck's sake, just get to the review.
This week marks the anniversary of the infamous Woodsboro murders. Local celebrity victim Sydney Prescott chose to return to her hometown.
So this was kind of an experiment because we went and saw this movie and Mike has never seen any of the original 3 Scream movies.
I have not.
So with that in mind, what did you think of this movie?
Well, I found the movie entertaining enough. I enjoyed watching it. I didn't get angry or irritated. But
That's always a good sign, I guess, for you.
There was certain, like when the teen characters started showing up, and the one guy's got like a webcam thing in there. But this film was so meta that I didn't quite know what I was supposed to be doing during the movie. I didn't quite know where the director wanted me, in what frame of mind.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because I haven't seen the other films. So I was like, are all of them like this? Are all of them funny? Are these comedies? Am I actually supposed to be really scared? Or, because David Arquette is totally hamming it up, and Courtney Cox, they're like phoning in their performances. It's almost like wink, wink the whole time.
Yeah.
Neve Campbell actually, does a good job, and then everything else comes off sort of comical or farcical, basically, I guess.
Yeah, I am a big fan of the original Scream. I think it's a really well done movie. The sequels are sort of just like cheap cash-ins, but the original one is a solid movie, and the tone of it is satirical, but at the same time it treats the horror elements very seriously. It's a good balance between kind of pointing out these cliches from past slasher movies while still making an actual slasher movie that's genuinely kind of intense and well done. And I enjoyed Scream 4 a lot in kind of a guilty pleasure way because it's so stupid. And as the movie progresses, it gets stupider and more schlocky. But the whole time I was questioning, does the movie know how silly it's being? Because it's constantly referencing the idea that sequels and reboots are sort of like stupid. But at the same time it's doing that, but the longer it goes on, it kind of devolves into schlock. And I was like, oh man, the movie has just completely lost it. But then a character at some point says, this is getting silly in reference to the movie. And I was like, oh no. Is Wes Craven intentionally ruining this series of movies?
Time for your last question. Name the remake of the groundbreaking
Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Dawn of the Dead, The Hills Have Eyes, Amityville Horror, Black Christmas, House of Wax, Hot Night, My Bloody Valentine.
The whole time I was thinking of the Simpsons, the bit on The Simpsons, where they say, are you being ironic? I don't even know anymore.
Well, that's one of the things I didn't really get because I didn't know if it was supposed to be a reboot or a sequel, or them just kind of referencing the fact that they, after 10 years, just decided to make another Scream movie because the Ghostface guy and the Scream name are recognizable to people.
I'm sure that was the mindset of the studio.
Yeah.
They probably didn't care too much about the actual content. They just wanted to make another Scream movie.
Yeah, and they probably wouldn't have done it without those 3 actors.
Yeah.
Because they're sort of the main important ones, I guess.
Yeah, they're the stars of the original movies.
Yeah.
Dewey,
What's going on?
It is not public information.
It's all over the internet.
It is?
Well, I mean, basically it was like Nev Campbell was the character from the first movie who had the same kind of scream encounters with the killer and wrote a book and came back to her hometown. It's almost like they don't need the second and the third film's events.
It sort of
It's like
ignores
the
them a
first one
bit because
ties it
they're
up.
just sort of like cheap cash-in sequels.
In that way, it's very similar to Jaws 4, The Revenge.
That I've never seen Jaws 4. All I know is at the end of that movie, don't they stab the shark with the boat and it explodes?
Smile, you son of a bitch!
But it's also almost the exact same thing as Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah.
The first Halloween, the events. The second one, yeah. The third one, of course, has nothing to do with Michael Myers. Then the fourth one's like resurrection of the Michael Myers storyline. Like he's come back to Haddonfield after 20 years. And those two link, the first and the four.
Nightmare on Elm Street, of course. Wes Craven's brainchild did this with New Nightmare.
Although New Nightmare wasn't the fourth film in the series, that was also, yes, sort of a self-referential thing. If you haven't seen New Nightmare, you should check it out.
New Nightmare is a genuinely good movie.
Yeah, I actually like that movie. It's very dark. It's very well done.
Yeah.
And Robert Englund is in it, who plays himself, and same with Freddie.
And Wes Craven's in the movie, too.
Wes Craven is also in the movie, so it's very. Would that be meta?
That would be meta, yes.
To be the new version, the killer should be filming the murders.
Down! Down behind you!
That's another thing too. I guess these movies are more or less whodunits. There's not a specific scream killer who comes back to life at the end of each one.
Right.
So we won't give away who the mystery is at the end, of course. But that element is interesting to me in a different kind of way.
Yeah, it kind of falls prey to the same thing that the second and third one did, though, in that there's no real way to figure it out. It's not like there are clues throughout the movie. It could. There's so many like red herrings that it could be anybody.
But I think, like you said, the big thing with this movie is neither of us knew if we loved it or hated it, based on whether or not it was all a joke.
Yeah.
I'm not sure yet.
There are moments in the movie where it felt like Wes Craven was just intentionally making complete schlock, and he knew it, and he was having fun with it.
Well, there's a lot of scenes in this movie where the kills are completely unimaginative.
Yeah.
And there's one scene in particular where the publicist character is in the parking garage. But really, kind of a throwaway character and not important to the plot at all. Because the
Right.
movie's not about Nev Campbell's book. You know, it has nothing to do with her publicist, the whole movie.
Yeah.
But we spend 18 minutes of the movie in the parking garage with the publicist.
Yeah.
After all this time setting it up, in and out of the car, the car alarm going off, back and forth, and blah, blah, blah. She's going to get to then just... and it's like... And then also, after you see the film and you find out who the killer is, this person killing the publicist had nothing to do with the plan at all. In fact, it could have used the publicist. The publicist would have gladly helped that person
Oh yeah, that would have been great, actually.
do what this person wanted to do.
Yeah.
Although you're quite a fan of the publicist in real life.
The publicist is played by Alison Brie, who is on probably the best comedy series on network television right now, Community. Really great show, really sharp, funny show, and she's good. She's probably only one of the new cast members in this movie that wasn't in the original movies that sort of stands out.
She stood out to me.
She's good in it.
I didn't know who she was, but I was like, she's good. She a little hammy of a performance, but I think that was the point.
Well, that's the other thing, is like that performance is so hammy and over the top.
It's cartoony.
It's
almost.
cartoony. But then you have other characters, like the Nev Campbell character that's played completely straight.
Nev Campbell's cousin is played straight.
Yeah.
Who apparently is the cousin of Julia Roberts.
Yes.
And you claimed nepotism there.
I don't think this actress would be getting roles if it wasn't for the fact that she's related to Julia Roberts, because she's awful.
She would be getting roles, but it would be bringing them to the table as a waitress.
Well, let's talk about Wes Craven briefly here. I've seen most of Wes Craven's movies, and I'm convinced that there's actually two Wes Cravens, because really 90% of Wes Craven's movies are awful, but he's still considered like this master of horror because the movies that he's made that are really good are really, really good. And this movie in particular felt like those two Wes Cravens sort of merged into one and had a baby, and it's little baby Wes Craven made a movie that is either amazingly brilliant in how aware of how stupid it is, or it's latter-day Wes Craven that just made horrible schlock and he didn't know how awful it was.
Yeah, it's questionable at the end. I mean, there's a couple little moments where, you know, it's obviously supposed to be funny, but it's hard to say.
Well, if that's the case and you're someone that likes the Scream series and likes the tone of it, you may be pissed off at this movie because it's intentionally mocking everything.
I think
it's sort of like a spit in the face to someone that, if you take these movies seriously, which I don't know why you would want to anyway. But
well, I think it's trying to reach the next plateau of self-referentialism, but it's taking itself seriously, and you're like, should I laugh or is this real? Are they asking us to kind of take this seriously or not? And they could have easily gone into the wacky direction, just over the line, but they're right on the line. They're right in the line. If it wasn't Scream, if it was just you know, the Woodsboro Killer movie, like, and those Scream movies didn't exist at all.
Yeah.
And I just watched this, I would probably go, this is stupid. But given the history of how the first one was kind of a take on horror movie cliches in its own movie, if that history didn't exist, then I would say this movie is kind of stupid.
So is Wes Craven an evil genius that's intentionally destroying a beloved horror franchise? Or is he not aware of what this movie was?
That's the big question, because yeah, there's some pretty brutal blood, gore.
It was gorier than the other movies.
Yeah.
It was definitely gorier, which maybe goes along with just kind of where horror films have gone since the original movie.
Yeah.
But that's something I think, because the original movie sort of references slasher films, which had just sort of run their course when the original movie came out. So it was sort of a reflection of that. It's very much a movie of its time. And so I was kind of expecting this one to deal more with kind of where horror has gone since that. There's been like the torture porn movies, the Asian remake movies. Like I thought the movie was going to be more of a reflection of that.
Yeah,
the found footage films. There's a little bit of that in there, but not much.
I don't think it would have worked if they tried to squeeze in different genres as gags, unless you're going for like a straight up comedy movie, like, you know, one of those disaster movie, or
like just a
one of
straight
those
up
where
bad
it's like
spoof movie.
A bad spoof movie, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like, and that would be going too far. It has to stick with the tradition.
But that just makes the whole thing feel really dated in a lot of ways.
Well,
despite all the mentions of like Facebook and Twitter and everyone on their cell phones, the actual plot of the movie, it felt very much like a mid-90s generic slasher movie.
Yeah, I think that was the point, in a way. Like, because you and I are old men, and 10 years is like nothing to us. But if you were 15 or so, 14, 15, 16, when Scream came out 10 years later, it's more of a nostalgic thing, and I think that's what they were going for.
I grew up on the Scream movies.
In fact, one of the publicist girl says, "You were my '90s" to Courtney Cox at one point, showing how young that girl was. So I think that was kind of the point. Was, you know, if they tried to make a Scream movie all dark and serious, where ghost face guys torturing people, as trying to, you know, modernize that movie series, it wouldn't have worked. But it was 90s nostalgia, and for us that's sort of mind-blowing at this point.
Yes,
because we're still stuck in 80s nostalgia mode.
These aren't just random killings.
Well, for this movie, I would say, if you're a fan of the Scream series, then you probably should go see it. But for myself, as someone who's never seen any of the Scream films, I enjoyed it. I didn't know if I was in on a joke or if I was out of the joke.
Yeah, I would say as a movie, I was incredibly entertained the whole way through, especially kind of halfway through to the end. I was just like constantly giggling at the schlock. It just gets so ridiculous.
Yeah,
and so silly.
Was particularly good.
The ending got really funny, and I don't know if it was intentionally funny or not. So speaking of things that are horribly confusing to us, we just got back from the No Brand Con in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, which is an anime cosplay gaming convention. All things we know absolutely nothing about, but they were kind enough to invite us up there as guests and do a panel and screen some things, and it was a good weekend. We had a good time.
Yeah, and in true half-in-the-bag fashion, we brought along our video camera and our microphone and rolled some footage. So let's take a look at it now. Hit it, Johnny! Whoa, it's a beautiful day and a great day for No Brand Con 2011 here at the Plaza Hotel in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Check out some anime, pick up some manga. Whoa! Hey everybody, we're here at No Brand Con 2011 in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Gonna check out some anime, gonna check out some manga, and most importantly, gonna eat some pocky. Let's check it out. Whoa! Check out all the dealers at No Brand Con this year. You can pick up whatever kind of manga, anime you want. Whoa! Check it out, a classic Atari arcade game, Return of the Jedi, circa 9. Whoa! You can get your dance on at No Brand Con this year. Whoa! So what the hell happened there? That was some weird footage.
If you wanna get with me, that'll make it fast. Now don't go wasting your precious time. Get your act together.
We're at karaoke at this thing, where people dressed as cartoon characters sing ironic songs unironically. Yeah, there are so many levels of irony and sarcasm that I don't know what's genuine and what's sarcastic anymore. It's like a Scream movie.
What is that?
It's troll face.
What? Shockwave? Currently, right now, they're playing the 70-minute Phantom Menace review from RedLetterMedia on the screen over there. Oh, it's getting near the end. We're about to go on the stage and do a Q&A, which we will tape. The cameraman is a hack. You chose the wrong way to walk down this hallway. Well, okay, you're having a room party. Oh, you don't talk, so I probably shouldn't do this. Now, the cream puffs are what interests me the most. Go on your way, ninja. You have a mission. Go, your mission. Get people to your party in the room. Go, cream puffs. So in addition to Red Letter Media, there's a couple other special guests there as well. Colleen Klinkenbeard and Monica Rial, who do voiceover work for anime. I have not heard of them, because I don't know what anime is.
I don't know anything about anime.
Is anime manga?
I think anime can be manga, but manga can never be anime.
Shots! Anyway, so they were really nice ladies, very energetic, and that seemed to be a theme that evening.
We noticed that all the other guests there were very full of energy and excitement, which is not us, which you probably know if you watched Half in the Bag. We're very sort of dry, boring assholes.
Right. So
we had a screening of one of the Plinkett reviews, but right before that screening in that room was a performance by a fellow named Brental Floss.
That's pretty cool. They came that far to see me.
That's right. Brental Floss was also there. He's a guy on the internet, and he does lyrics to video game music.
Shapes made of 4 colored blocks, like a T or a box, come down like falling bricks.
The thing he does at conventions is he does a performance, a live show with music and keyboards and singing and stuff like that. And our screening and our Q&A had to follow his show. So we had a chance to talk with Brent for a minute before our screening, and take a look at that.
I feel like I wish I had said stick around for Red Letter Media, because the thing is I kind of got thrown by the whole you have 5 minutes left. Oh crap, so.
How do you feel about the phrase tough act to follow?
I'm making my review. Shut the fucking fuck. Anyway, so I realized it sounded Palpatine.
I think our screening went well.
It did. It seemed to go over well. Almost everyone that was in there appeared to have seen the Plinkett reviews before and had a lot of questions. It was one question after the other.
So are you looking forward to Star Wars 3?
No. I am a little more comfortable when I'm intoxicated in front of crowds. I don't like speaking in front of crowds. It makes me nervous.
Yeah, me too.
That's why they make this. We weren't that drunk for the Q&A. We just had a couple. Here we are on the elevator in the hotel, and we're going to interview some people. Wait, cut. I'm gonna throw up. And we met some other people too. Matt and Chris were also there from brawlinthefamily.com. It is a webcomic which is kind of loosely based on existing Nintendo characters. They were nice guys. They were our vendor buddies.
They were our vendor neighbors. They were right next to us.
Yeah, and it was their first convention that they've ever done, and their first Q&A panel. And Matthew was a little nervous, I think, about his Q&A, but he did great. They both did great, and we sat in on their panel, and afterwards we had a chance to interview both of them in a very kind of cool, intimate setting at the convention.
Yeah, it made it feel very personable.
Yeah. Hey, we're here at No Brand Con, and I'm with a couple of fellow guests. Your names?
I'm Matthew Toronto.
And I'm Chris Seward.
And what do you guys do? What do the crowds here know you for mainly?
Well, I write and draw the comic Brawl in the Family. It's a webcomic about Nintendo characters, and Chris here helps me out with the site design and some maintenance, and he gives me a little bit of feedback on the comic. So we're kind of a team with that.
Are you an artist as well, or?
Yeah, he's really does a little art for the comic, but I've contributed a few select pieces.
Yeah, this is true. That's true.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for your time.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. I've definitely appreciated doing the interview with you. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great meeting you, and we're big fans of your work at Red Letter Media.
Oh yeah. Same here. And everybody, check out brawlinthefamily.com.
All right.
Ow!
So the No Brand Con, I mean, it's primarily like an anime thing, but there was so much other cool stuff going on there.
I've never seen you so excited before.
I was so freaking excited there that we just had to take a ton of photos. So yeah, wow. Tabletop gaming, video games, dance club, bad movies. I mean, this convention really has it all.
Yeah, it was great. They were all, everyone there was really friendly, and we had a really great time.
Yeah, so if you're into anime, manga, cosplay, dressing up, and that sort of scene, we would say you should go to the next No Brand Con.
Absolutely.
If you can get to Wisconsin.